Look at what the angel Gabriel tells her. He says, and behold, thy cousin Elizabeth, she had also conceived a son in her old age, and this is the 6th month with her, who was called barren. For with God nothing shall be impossible. He was telling her, here is somebody that you can connect with that's been impregnated too. Here is somebody that you can connect with that understands that they have divine destiny too. Here is somebody that you can connect with, Mary, and you can begin to talk about what God has said to you and promised to you, and they won't be a dream killer. Here is somebody that you can talk to, Mary, and find safety with and find solace with, and they won't tell you, no, God won't do that. They will confirm what God is doing within you. He said, for with God, nothing shall be impossible. Major statement in the text. And it's particularly challenging when you have insurmountable debt standing in front of you and you're trying to get to a place of being debt-free, and you hear the word of God telling you that with God nothing shall be impossible. It is very difficult to embrace this part of the text when the doctor has told you that there is a disease in your body that's incurable, and that within the X amount of days that your life will probably expire. It is difficult to believe and to embrace this word that with God nothing shall be impossible. Challenging. But if you're in that situation, you have been chosen by God to be there. And God is not in the business of destroying the saints. Oh, okay. So then, if God has lifted me up and sat me in this place of disparity, and sometimes in all actuality when it comes to debt, we lifted ourselves up and set ourselves in this place of disparity. God told you you didn't need the car when you went to the car lot to get it, and that you really couldn't afford it, and that you should be a good steward and get something that was less expensive. But we, y'all know how we do, walk in there, but my God shall supply all my need according to his riches and glory. And if they give it to me, that means God is going to pay for it. Not so. God is calling us to be good stewards. Good stewards. But in some instances, God will lift us in this place so that he can be glorified, so that he can be proven, so that you can see the power of God that's in your life. Many times we walk around as believers and we don't even embrace the power of God that's in our lives. We don't even know how much power we have. You ever looked at somebody and you said, that is a powerful woman of God, that's a powerful man of God, and they don't even know it, don't even realize it. And so he says to her, with God nothing shall be impossible. And that word impossible means to be unable. Mary, with God, there's nothing that you'll be unable to do. Mary, in the 21st century, with God, there is nothing that you will be unable to do. I know that it seems insurmountable. I know that the odds are stacked against you. But there is nothing you will not be able to do. And the question is, do we really believe that? All right, let's go on. Again, and Mary said, in verse number 38, behold, the handmaid of the Lord. Be it unto me according to thy word. Look at her position. First of all, she said, behold the handmaid of the Lord. You know what she was saying? Behold the servant of the Lord. I am a slave to God. I surrender to what you are saying. I really can't work through in my mind how it's going to happen and how it's going to work out. But because God sent you here, and I believe that God sent you here, then I'm going to submit to what you're telling me, and I'm going to walk in the steps that have been ordered. I'm a servant. So Mary said, behold the handmaid of the Lord, be it unto me according to thy word. A place of acceptance. No struggle. No inner struggle. I surrender, God. This is not what I have planned for my life. This is not the way I wanted it to go, God, but I surrender to what you're telling me. To your will. Keeping in mind, according to the customs of her day, she was supposed to be dealt with severely. She was supposed to be stoned and killed. You mean to tell me this woman, Mary, knew the consequences of what the angel Gabriel was telling her, but still she was willing to do the will of God? How many of us allow the consequences of what God is saying do to cause us to become fearful and pull back from what God is saying do? God is saying, get up and move to Kalamazoo. And I have a job for you there. I have a family for you there. Your destiny, your name will become great if you get up and move. And we start rationalizing the consequences of the move. But if I get up and move, I got to leave all of my family that I know, that I'm so familiar with, that I'm so comfortable with. Could it be that God knows in order to get you to do what he wants you to do, he's got to move you out of your comfort zone? Because when we're in our comfort zone, we tend to come lackadaisical and let time go by. But God is saying to a 21st century group of believers that the time is now, and that the time is at hand, and this is the appointed time. And to get you where I needed you to go, I had to uproot you and pull you out of your comfort zone. And it's not an easy place. But Mary was willing. She said, be it unto me. And then the text said, and the angel departed from her. You got everything you need now, Mary. You got everything you need. I see that you have embraced this word. I see that there's no resistance in you. I see this beam in your eye. Have you ever seen someone that would say to you that God has a special plan for my life, and God told me this and God told me that, and you see a special gleam in their eye, and you look at that gleam in your eye and you think there's no way that they're going to be deterred from what God is saying? Mary, I can imagine that Mary had that gleam in her eye. Be it unto me according to thy word. How many of you know that every word that the Lord speaks shall come to pass? And that it doesn't matter what anybody else says. If God has given his word on it, that God is a man of his word, and he's not going to let you down. Look at your neighbor and say, God is a man of his word.